nearly 31 weeks in now, and this diary video is going to be based on an experience that happened yesterday that I really wanted to share, because one, I know that other mums will be going through the same, and two, I wanted to share the importance of emotions and why it's so essential that we do not push them away, especially during pregnancy. So yesterday we had a neighbour around, and Ryan and I, my partner and I, we live with a family friend of Ryan's who is in his 80s. He's also vegan like us, so together we are healthy and fit, and it's great. But him and us don't agree on everything about the world, and especially birth. So that's really challenging, because when you're living in a home where someone doesn't agree with the same things as you and doesn't trust their body in the same way that you do, it's very challenging to have a conversation about it without them getting triggered, without me getting triggered. So we have made a decision. We made it like months ago to have an unassisted birth, and if you haven't checked it out, there's a group called the Free Birth Society, and they've been running for a while, and it's a partnership of two women. I say partnership as in like business partnership, and one used to be a midwife, one used to be a doula, and they've seen thousands of unassisted births, and so they are radical leaders changing people's perspective around birth and how like we are designed to birth. And there's this outlook on birth as something we need to turn to a specialist and a medical professional for, when our body knows what to do. And actually most of the interventions, if not all of the interventions, most of them, because some are necessary, actually make a lot of situations worse. For example, Pitocin, which is injected when you first give birth, when you're first giving birth, is like an artificial oxytocin, which actually does the opposite of what it's supposed to. Your body already naturally produces oxytocin, and oxytocin is so important because it helps you manage the contractions, or sensations, I like to say. But Pitocin blocks the release of oxytocin, and to me that triggers me, because it's like, well, hang on a minute, Pitocin is said to be used as a way of helping you your hormones manage the sensations like oxytocin naturally does without the injection anyway. I'm not going to go off on a tangent with that. I could go on forever, but the point is, there's certain interventions that I personally don't want to have, so that means that we want to give birth at home. And anyway, we were speaking to our neighbour yesterday, and she asked us like what we decided, and I was honest with her. Wow, did that start up another conversation? I don't really need to go into details, but I will say that I'm so grateful for the love and care that people around us have, but it made me realise how much misconceptions there are about birth out there, and that people really do project their fears onto you. And I've already made my decision, I already know what I'm doing, but you know, when you're around the table and you've got two people who are clearly triggered by your decision, and you're an empath like me, and you're already vulnerable with all your hormones all over the place, I was able to stay strong for most of that time, but with everything going on in my world and how I'm already going through so many emotions with having moved home and finding people here that I can click with and relate to, like, that is a big enough thing to deal with. And the one thing that I really wanted more than anything was really support. And in that moment, it kind of brought up this like childhood trauma feeling, and oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever cried so much and so deeply. Like, the depth of the emotions that came, I could feel them purging from like right down below. And I'm so grateful that Ryan is on the same page as me, and he was able to support me and hold me and tell me that I am strong. And it was so lovely to have that. But I think it was about 20 minutes to half an hour, I took myself away from the table, and I just literally wept and sobbed, and yeah, and I could feel the energy, like my back was getting really hot, and I was like in it, but I wasn't like absorbed by it. I was actually being an observer of everything that was coming up and allowing it to come up, which is really different to how I used to handle my emotions. Or actually, I used to push them away. But instead of being wrapped up in the story of, oh, no one supports me, it was like, okay, well, this is clearly upsetting for me in many ways. I'm just gonna be with these emotions right now and just feel them and hear them out and let them release. And so that's what I did. And yeah, it was like my lips were quivering, my hands were shaking, and I knew that this release was so necessary, because it was more than just that situation. Let's be honest, when we get triggered, or when our emotions arise, most often it's to do with something from the past. And to me, it wasn't important what that was, like what that situation was in the past that I was healing from. It was more that I was just allowing it to release. And oh, the relief I felt afterwards was so good. Although I would be lying if I said I didn't feel vulnerable after having had that release, which I think is normal. And obviously I still live with our housemate Ed, and we're gonna have to have conversations about it today. We don't have to, but it's inevitable, which is fine. I feel kind of ready now, but I just needed to let that go. And so that was really an important thing I wanted to share with you, because it's a part of being human, and we're not always going to get the support we want from our family and friends, and that's okay. We just need to know what we want and to be strong in that choice. Yeah, strong in that choice, and to stick with it if that's really what we want to do, and be prepared for all the options within that choice, as I'm going to be. So I feel I feel like that was just important for me to share, and I want you to be reassured if you're another pregnant mama who feels a lack of support, or you are also free birthing like me, or you have just experiences of all these emotions coming up. Please sit with them, please work with them and acknowledge them and let them have their time and space, because that's healing. And I've been going through healing for many years, as you'll read on my blog, and it's not always easy, and that last night was probably the most difficult I've ever been through. In terms of in that moment and what I was feeling, it was like an eruption, this huge surge of energy I've never felt before. And what better time to work with our emotions than during pregnancy, right? Because it's like one of the times when your hormones are all over the place, so it's important to sorry, someone just arrived at the door. So it's important to work with them and be with them. And I had nearly 12 hours sleep last night, so I clearly needed that sleep. So I was so physically exhausted, emotionally exhausted from that release. So yeah, don't think I've slept that long in a long time. It just goes to show how deep it was, actually. I have a poem that I wrote when I was in the depth of my feelings, because I sometimes find it a good idea to write out how I'm feeling in that moment, so that I can really like feel into it more. But I can't read it to you because it's on my phone that I'm recording on, so maybe I'll post it in the description box if you want to check it out, and let me know what you think. The other thing I wanted to say was I actually had cramp last night in my womb and in my back, and I started getting cramps on Sunday, which was exactly 30 weeks in, and I've been getting it pretty much every day. But yesterday was the most intense. So I understand that that's a variation of normal, so I'm not concerned, but I just wanted to share that. And I also want you to know, if you're also experiencing the same, that you trust that you know your body, and if it's really, really severe, then maybe it's worth getting checked out. But I am aware that it's a variation of normal, so listen to your body and what your body's telling you. And if you don't seem too concerned, then let it be. Your womb, my womb, is preparing for birth. What a magical feeling. What a magical thought and reality. It's just amazing. There's a little human in here. Sometimes I feel like there's an alien in my belly. It's funny. Alright, that is my share for today, and I hope that if, as a fellow pregnant mama, if that's you or someone who knows, fellow pregnant mama, or just a mama who's already given birth, I hope that something's helped you on this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to continue following my journey. I have other videos where I'm actually posting genuine tips where I actually look a bit better than waking up in the morning. But that doesn't really bother me. I'm happy to share that because this is real life, right? So make sure you follow those videos too if that's of interest. But I actually have like more strategic points that I make, tips and tricks for releasing emotions. But along the side, I just wanted to share my pregnancy diaries too, because this is the opportunity for me to get real and raw with my audience. So Any questions, comment below in the description box. No, that's not in the description box. My bit is in the description box, in the comments box. And if you want to connect with me, then please feel the same. Please do the same. Just comment in the box below. So yeah, that's my share for today. Please do share this video with anyone you feel needs it. Okay, see you next time.